What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your retro review of Noah's Arc Season 2, Episode 5. So we start this episode off with Alex going through all the guy's stuff. He was like, listen, I need to find proof once and for all that guy is really, truly this crazy person that I think he is. Like, nobody believes me, but I know what I know. And he invites Noah to come over to help him. And, of course, Noah is looking at him like, you have really lost it. And, you know, of course, Alex is like, so you don't believe me? Like, and they end up finding a suicide note. And the suicide note is like, you know, dear Trey, I can't bear to live without you, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And Alex was like, see, this is the proof right here. Like, he was going to commit suicide. He's going to commit suicide. And Noah was like, you signed the note. And Alex looked at it, and it was signed by him. And he looked at Noah. He was like, he's planning to kill me. He was like, I got to tell Trey. And he was like, before you tell Trey, pay attention. That's in your handwriting. So it's really just going to look like you're, you know, further setting the whole thing up. So he was like, you need to come up with something. He's like, we got to come up with a plan. Like, we got to get the guys together. We got to really come up with something more serious. So he calls Ricky and Janito are having a sexy afternoon with strawberries and cream, honey. He calls Chance and Eddie, and they are playing hooky, having themselves a sexy, you know, hook day from work. And so nobody's answering the phone. And he's just like, well, dang, you know, he's trying to get the crew together to figure out what's good. What's going on with my lighting? What in the world? What's the light doing? What's going on with the light? Okay. Anyway, so that's better. So, now over to Chance and Eddie's house. Old Drusilla done shown up because she was like, listen, me and old girl decided that we were going to leave our husbands. We were going to be together. And she stood me up. Like, I done left my husband. I done packed up my, you know, got into it with him, packed up my house. I mean, you know, packed my stuff up, left. And she didn't show up. Like, she bailed on me. And so, of course, you know, Chance is like, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear it. You know, well, if you need somewhere to stay, you know, you can stay here. And Eddie was like, no, the hell, she can't. She can't stay here. And they, you know, end up talking to her and finding out that, you know, she, that the two of them have been they've been having this affair for like years, like 2 years. And that, you know, the husbands didn't know what was going on. And, you know, even though it wasn't really Chance's fault, I think they sort of realized how much of a hypocrite they were being by kind of throwing that whole, oh, your lifestyle at them. But y'all was really doing what y'all was doing too. And so, you know, Chance tells him, listen, girl, until you figure it out, like your husband done put you out, you thought you was running away with your girlfriend done left you hanging, you can stay here. Eddie was like, that is, like, at the end of the day, that is still my boss's daughter. I mean, my boss's wife. Like, she can't stay here. So later on in the episode, she actually called him because I guess she figured out, listen, I need to just go ahead, make my apologies, hang my head, but I need to go ahead and eat some crow and going back home. So she calls her husband over. And when he shows up, Eddie is like, oh, shit. And she was like, it's okay. I called him. Like, I'm going home. Like, and, you know, Chance is like, you really don't have to leave. And Eddie was like, no, she really does have to leave. And just as, you know, and of course, he's mad as hell. And he looking at them like they did something to him. They go to pack up the, you know, he putting her luggage in the car or whatever. And here come the other chick. She come rolling up talking about, I was a coward. And I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Like, are you didn't, the what? What? And of course, she ends up rolling and leaving with the woman. And the husband looks at Eddie like, you did it to me, oh bitch. So, now in the meantime, while all of this is going on, my boy Baby Gat, he is, you know, coming on strong to Noah. He buying Noah expensive paintings and all this other stuff, and he's letting Noah, and Noah's like, listen, I don't really have time to play these games with you. And he was like, what? He was like, you know, I like you, you like me, like, what's the big deal? And he was like, because this all a game to you, and I ain't got the time for it. And he said, plus, I'm in love with somebody else. He was like, who? You in love with old boy? The dude that, you tried to pawn me off on the other day? And he was like, yeah. He was like, well, let me ask you a question. Do you think he's turning down any dates for you? And Noah was like, well, I guess you're right. I guess not. And so, but of course Noah is like, y'all know Noah, he's like, whatever. I ain't trying to really get into all of that, what I'm saying? Because he still really does like waiting. He ain't that type of person. You know what I'm saying? Now, while this is going on, the fellas, Alex actually gets a chance to talk to the guys and tell the guys about the note or whatever. And of course, they're not listening, even though Noah did sort of co-sign that there was a note or whatever. They still think that Alex is kind of, really tripping. But Noah volunteers to call Wade, because remember, Guy was Wade's friend. So he volunteers to call Wade and get Wade to help him out. And they end up going to see Guy's girlfriend / ex-girlfriend, the one that he said kicked him out and put his stuff in storage. Well, come to find out, she still think they together. Not only does she think they together, she still think they engaged, and she waiting for him to get back from Africa, not knowing he done been back from Africa for like 7 months now. So Wade, Noah was actually getting ready to tell her, and Wade was like, no. Like, we need to figure out what our next movie is. But when he goes to take Wade back home, Wade got roses and everything for the boyfriend, and him and the boyfriend all booed up and stuff. And that's when Noah realizes, you know what? I am kind of like holding on to something that ain't happening. And he ends up calling Baby Gat for the date. And of course, Baby Gat is like, okay, all right, let's do this. I'm ready. I'm ready for this to happen. So he goes out on a date with Baby Gat. Baby Gat invited him to go to a movie premiere. They get in the car, and Baby Gat is all, hugging and kissing all up on him or whatever. And then they pull up to somebody else's house, baby, a girl. He talking about, be cool. And a girl gets in the car. If y'all remember, what was it? Half and Half. She was on Half and Half. She was one of the sisters. But I forget her name, but y'all know who I'm talking about when y'all see her. He jumps in the car, and now they all bunned up, whatever. And he's sitting there looking crazy, and he introduces him as, he's the guy that's writing rewriting the movie for me, and this, that, and the other. Like, he's just one of the boys or whatever. And so, of course, Noah looking crazy. Now, if it were me, I would have left. I wouldn't even entertained it. But they get to the actual movie premiere, and they get out the car, he gets out the car, the photographers, they leave, they're like, who are you? Are you anybody? That kind of thing. And guess who he runs into? Quincy. Quincy is, tall, buff guy, used to be on All My Children. That's Quincy. And, Noah was like, are you stalking me? He was like, no, I know one of the, producers on the movie, and he introduced me, And, the whole night, Noah just kind of looking at Baby Gat and all that. And Quincy sort of figures out that Baby Gat is sort of like on the DL, that he's been flirting with Noah and that kind of thing. And so, at the end of the night, they're getting ready to go to, the chick tells him that this was something that was set up by the movie studio, that they're not really a couple, but it still don't make, I think part of Noah was like, oh, okay, so this was set up by the movie studio, but then there was another part of him that was like, yeah, no, but still, this is, way too much. And so when Baby Gat is like, okay, so we can really leave here and go to the after hours, catch a cab and meet us there. Here's the information. Here's the address of where we're going to be. And Noah was just kind of like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Like, yeah. And as he's leaving out, he's looking all dejected and stuff. He ends up, somebody come up to him talking about something. Are you somebody? And Noah was like, yeah, I guess not. And then he ends up falling flat on his face, y'all. And who was there? And who gives the classic "Lady Sings the Blues" line? Pulls his hand out, talking about something. Do you want my hand to fall off? I said, I know that's right. Ah! He said, well, do you want my hand to fall off? And he ends up, helping Noah get up. And they walk off. And he was like, yes, he is somebody. I said, I know that's right. Now back over to Alex's house. Guy is cooking dinner. And Alex figures that this is, Guy's about to kill him. He was like, he cooking dinner, but he about to, like, I feel like, he gonna poison the food or whatever. And Alex won't eat the dinner. And Trey is like, eat your food, Alex. He was like, nope, I'm good. I ain't eating it. And so Trey was like, fine, I'll eat it then. And Guy has this look on his face, and he has this look on his face like, oh shit, like Trey getting ready to eat the food. And at the last minute, Alex ends up knocking the food out of Trey's mouth. And Trey was like, you know what, I'm sick of this. Like, like, what is your problem? And Guy was like, and then Guy, I forgot exactly how it went, but Guy basically told Trey that Alex was the one that cut him, that he didn't cut, that how his hand got cut. And Trey was like, you cut him? Like, you are a crazy bitch. And he ends up putting Alex out the house. I said, now Trey. But anyway, he really believed that Alex did it, so he ended up putting Alex. He ended up putting Alex out the house, honey. And of course, Guy was sitting there like, got you, bitch. I said, oh, terrible. Anyway, that was that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments.